Now, Holly is here with us, and we're so thrilled that she's here. And I asked her if we could talk about what it's like being the mother of a teenager. Because
well, there's a teenager, and then there's a teenager with autism.
Exactly.
And I've got twins. I got two 16-year-olds, so that's fun.
I can't even
My
imagine.
daughter, Ryan, who's amazing and
She is
awesome,
amazing.
And such a great advocate for her brother and the family, and she's really pretty amazing. And then there's Rodney, or RJ, we call him sometimes. And, you know, adolescence is something that's so interesting and eventful when you don't have to have autism along with it. But I think what autism has brought to this this transition period is just a lot of question marks. You know, we didn't know what to look for. We had people say, look for the shuns. It's aggression, regression, and depression. And all those, you know, make you just want to hang your head, right?
Yeah.
But so that's what we were told to look out for. We were also told to look out for seizure disorder, that it may come. You know, we were so blessed and fortunate that he's not one of the percentage of kids with autism that has seizure disorder. But boy, that's tough. And for the families that are experiencing that, you know, hang in there, because that's really difficult. So we thought, okay, our kid's going to get all these things, and he's going to have seizures. So we've been watching him like a hawk. Anytime the poor boy just, you know, hiccups, I'm just like trying to see what's going on with him. But more importantly for me, it's about high school. The stakes are higher now socially. He likes girls. He has no idea how to really process that. Last time I was on the show, I talked about my fears for him with girls and just worrying about the wrong girl hooking up with him. He's a good-looking boy. He has language. He still has that sort of echolalia type of thing going, and so that really makes for awkward times in a high school setting. It's a journey, like, and just when you get to think, oh, we've crossed this milestone, now we're at this one, and it's like, so in a way, it feels like we kind of got the diagnosis all over again. Not in the same way that we got it when they were little ones, but you get re-diagnosed with it.
It's interesting because you wrote a great blog for the Huffington Post about autism and adolescence, and with the word kaboom in the title of it, because the two colliding together. And you talked about how at this point you should feel like a veteran, but that this adolescence has kind of put you back to the point where you're having to relearn everything through a new lens.
Yeah, I was a rookie again.
And one of the things that you mentioned in that blog is that there are things that have happened in the news that have changed the way you need to teach your child about the world. And in that particular blog, you were talking about Trayvon Martin.
Right.
But there have been some things that have happened in the last couple of days that have also, we talked about this earlier, that it's changed the way I'm looking at my son and how he interacts with the world. But let's start with talking about the Trayvon Martin first, and then we'll go to the more recent study, because your son likes to wear a hoodie.
He loves to wear hoodies, and he loves to wear, he loves to keep his hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
Just sensorially, that works for him, right?
Yeah.
So I took him to the local police department, and I introduced him, and I just want to cut back on any little mishaps. You know, he loves to walk and go to the local coffee shop or the local bagel shop. That's like, it's part of his freedom.
Yeah.
And I don't want to suppress that. I don't want to be a helicopter mom with him. I am, but I want to be kind of a stealth helicopter mom, you know, the ones that kind of disappear. You know? I don't want to be that one that's all over top of him, because I want him to fit into society, and he needs to be able to do that and make the mistakes on his own. But what the Trayvon thing scared the mess out of me was just the fact that he's a boy who looked suspicious. So we all know that's why the guy got out of the car and pursued him, and we know what happened. And I just worry that my kid, A, is not going to be able to respond to social cues properly if a policeman, if he's in the wrong place at the wrong time, or fits the description of someone wearing a hoodie, or he looks threatening. These are the things that worry me.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly telling him about, you know, pull the hoodie down, or, you know, make sure if you see, if a cop does say something to you, don't bring anything out of your pockets. And it's just sad that we have to say this to our kids, but it's necessary.
It is necessary. And I have to tell you, I have a great video to recommend to you, and I'll hook you up with and have them send you a copy. But our friends Emily Island, they made a movie called Be Safe the Movie. And it's an instructional tool tool just for our kids on the spectrum, showing them
nice.
how to react around the police, and they act it out. And all the actors that are playing kids on the spectrum are actual kids on the spectrum.
You got to hook me up with that.
Because
I've been
brought
doing
the card in for you.
the homemade Holly
Yeah.
version of that.
It really is amazing. And then they take it apart and look at it from different angles.
Right.
And I haven't shown the video to my son yet, but I've talked him through some of the different lessons, because they talk about what happens if the police pull you over and what you're supposed to do, and if the police draw guns, that you don't run. It's an amazing tool, and I'll hook you up with it. But it's called Be Safe the Movie.
Oh, good.
And it's an important tool. I hadn't thought about that, about training my child about what could happen if the police get there, and not to be afraid.
And the reality, though, is that, and what frightened me so much about the Trayvon thing is that this was completely racial profiling. I mean, anybody who argues that it wasn't is that heard him on the phone and what he was saying to the cops about sort of saying what the guy looked like, and he would look like this and that and the other, and those guys. I mean, clearly that's what that was. And so if you look at my son, he's tall, he's brown, he's got a hoodie, he's walking around, his hands in his pockets, he's got his headphones on, he loves his Beats headphones, right? And so these are all very typical teen things. I mean, similar to the other case that happened in Florida.
More recent case.
Yeah, the more recent case, in Florida, where that the whole situation with the guys in the car playing loud music, a little different, but still, for me, like, if my son is in that car with his friends, and my son loves to play loud hip hop, that's just what he loves to do.
Yeah.
That's what I did in high school.
Absolutely.
So these are things that people are getting killed over, and it's not okay. So when you have a kid on the spectrum, you have to go the extra mile to protect him and make sure that he understands the ramifications of certain things.
Absolutely.
And that's hard to teach without making a kid go, God, Mom, like, back off.
Exactly.
So
that's what my child says. Mom, back off.
Yeah.
But I figure I'm unfortunately I'm deciding to instill fear and then fix that later on.
I'm with you.
I'm
with you.